Well, thanks for joining me. It's not often my vegan ground hop videos start here at Manchester Airport, but this ground hop is a little bit of an unusual one, and I'm really looking forward to it, even though it's a very early start today. Well, I said the vegan ground hop video starts here at Manchester Airport, but actually the day for me started at 3:15 this morning at home when my alarm went off, and that seems like a long time ago already. I think I need a black coffee. Well, yesterday I had the pleasure of visiting an Isle of Man Premier League game, Onchan versus Laxey, and that was at the former National Stadium. Well, today I'm going to watch a match at the current National Stadium on the Isle of Man. I've had a good night's sleep, I've had a rest, and I'm waking up to a view which is absolutely beautiful. So I'm walking along the promenade again here in Douglas, and just if you're interested about what the Isle of Man is, it's the place where I am now. Douglas is the capital city, and it's a self-governing crown dependency of the UK, and that kind of means, from what I understand, is that it handles all its own internal affairs. It makes political decisions. It's got its own parliament here on the island for pretty much everything that goes on here. But there is that relationship with the UK, which means that for health service, residents of Isle of Man can go over to the UK for treatment. It means that they get issued with Isle of Man British passports, so that is issued by the UK. And also in terms of international affairs, the UK looks after the defence. Should there be an international incident, or if there was an invasion here, the UK would help with that sort of defence level. So hopefully that won't happen, but you never know in this world that we live in. Also, what happens is there's a relationship between the Isle of Man and the English FA. So the game I saw yesterday, the Isle of Man Premier League, kind of feeds into the English FA. But today I'm going to a game where it's FC Isle of Man, and they actually play in the English structure. They're in the North West Counties Premier Division, and they have got an interesting relationship with the English FA and also with the other teams on the island, which I'll describe a bit later. So today is the second of two games. You can just see there the guys in the red training gear, just crossing the road to avoid the glare of the camera. They're today's opposition for Isle of Man FC Isle of Man. They are Prestwich Hayes, and they are both teams in the North West Counties Premier Division. Bizarrely, and it's probably one of the things that FC Isle of Man, are up against. Bizarrely, to get their fixtures in time this season, FC Isle of Man played yesterday. They got a 3-3 draw against Pilkington, while I was watching Onchan beat Laxey 4-2 in the Isle of Man Premiership. So FC Isle of Man, 2 games in less than 24 hours. They've either got a very big squad or they're very, very fit young men. But either way, I'm looking forward to watching the game. I've got about a half an hour walk to the new National Stadium, the Bowl, and that's the home of FC Isle of Man. And this is the Bowl Arena, and you can see why it gets its name. It's a beautiful little amphitheatre here, and what a nice ground. And the really good thing about it is it's a complete stadium. The seats on all 4 sides of the pitch, and it is a very nice. Referees waving. You don't get that at the Etihad. So yeah, the stadium is complete. It's a nice complete bowl, and obviously living up to its name beautifully. In the foreground here, warming up, it's the Isle of Man team, and they are in mid-table in the Northwest Counties Premier. The team in the distance, they're going to be wearing, looks like pale blue and navy today. That's Prestwich Hayes. They are at the bottom, so they really could do with 3 points to survive the drop this season. There we go. But this is the very, very nicely formed bowl in the Isle of Man. I am the vegan groundhopper, and it's my duty and my pleasure to go to football games and try and find if there's anything suitable for vegans. I asked at the refreshments kiosk just over the other side there. There's nothing suitable for vegans here at the bowl, unfortunately, which means my halftime snack is very important today. And this is it's like a crunchy, the Cadbury Crunchy. This is the Mighty Fine brand, and it is Mighty Fine. This is a vegan crunchy, so it's cinder toffee covered in chocolate, and it's one I'm looking forward to at half-time already. But right now, the team's warming up for this morning kickoff. Remember, FC Isle of Man played yesterday afternoon, and they got a 3-3 draw against Pilkington, so it'll be interesting to see whether they run out of steam as the game goes on. But we just have to wait and see. Well, this is the thing that you don't get every 5 minutes. I'm being joined by a special guest. It's Raymond the Raven. And yeah, well, thank you. I agree, yeah. So, Raymond the Raven, Isle of Man mascot. So a goal for the Ravens on the stroke of half-time means the score is 1-1. So I've had my vegan snack at half-time, very nice too. Second half's underway. Isle of Man still drawing 1-1 with Prestwich Hayes. And it's the away team that really need the points. So we'll have to see how the game fares as the second half progresses. So Isle of Man operate, as I mentioned, in the English structure. They're in the Northwest Counties League Premier Division. And what they have is the option of being able to draw on players from the Isle of Man Premier Division. And they can almost like feels a bit like an international call-up to play for FC Isle of Man. Something that the local clubs here have had to get used to, and they understand how the land lies a bit now. So if you're planning your team for a weekend, you might get told of a call-up on the Wednesday or Thursday. So it does potentially put their plans into disarray. But like I say, it's had a few years to bed in now, and the Premier League teams here on the Isle of Man have got used to that idea. So it's quite interesting how it works, and what it makes is for a good local league. The Isle of Man Premier League is good, and it makes the Isle of Man team very competitive. And today, where they've got their second game inside 24 hours, it's probably a necessity, because there are some times when fixture congestion does play havoc with FC Isle of Man. It's in! It's 2-2! And it came from a corner that resulted from a passage of play where the Isle of Man hit the post 3 times in quick succession. The corner came in, and they've actually got an equaliser. We're in added on time. There's been 8 minutes of added on time. Now Isle of Man have got an equaliser, and the way they were looking to restart, they were looking for the win. Remember, Prestwich are down to 9 men. Isle of Man, who played yesterday, are down to 10 men. So the full-time whistle goes, and the players making their way off the pitch behind me. It finished 2-2, late equaliser for the Isle of Man means that they get a share of the spoils. Not what Prestwich needed, but the stramash that led to the first red card really sparked this game into life. It was a bit of a tame affair before then. But yeah, there you go. So Prestwich, along with myself, will be making their way back over to the UK after today's game. So yeah, this is a really nice stadium. It's used for the Isle of Man, and it's got lots of uses. It's a 4G pitch. It gets a lot of use. I think they have the island games where they play teams from Jersey, Guernsey, Inismon, which is Anglesey, and Shetland and Orkney. So it's a nice stadium, a nice national stadium. It's a complete bowl, which gives it a good stadium feel. And it's been a nice place to come and visit. And my reflections of visiting FC Isle of Man and the island of the Isle of Man has been really positive. It's a nice place to come and visit. I don't think this will be my last visit to this island, and I don't think it's been my last visit to this ground as well, because I would come back and watch football here again. So all told, it's been a really nice place to come to. And that basically concludes this video. So I'll just say this. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, and hopefully you'll join me next time.